Today is the 300th birthday of Samuel Adams of Boston. He may be more important than any of our founding fathers that led us to get our independence from England. Now, before I give you a story, I want to make an application to today's times. You see, this guy was truly, by anyone's definition, a domestic terrorist. I mean, one example, he was a founder of a secret organization called the Sons of Liberty. They were the ones that masterminded the Boston Tea Party. Here's the application I want you to make. He's a true hero to us. Today, our government is pretty active in labeling American citizens domestic terrorists. I just want to ask you, in our memory of Sam Adams, maybe verify that. Maybe dig just a little deeper to find out for yourself, because our government will lie to you. They're corrupt, they're immoral. Even when they try to do right, often it turns out wrong. Do not trust them on this. Especially, they're saying parents are domestic terrorists because they're not liking what's going on in their schools, for example. We just need to verify this. Maybe there's an issue we need to actually hear. The mistake the British made was they never intended to listen to anybody from America. It was just hammer down, obey, and we don't want to hear from you. So Sam Adams, let's get to him on his birthday today. He graduated with a master's degree from Harvard in 1743, and he was an early dissenter because his thesis was about the legality of resisting British rule. After that, one of his early careers, besides being a brewer, of course, was a tax collector, which made him familiar with British law and taxes, as well as very familiar with merchants, especially those in Boston, which would be important because after the 7-Year War, 1756 to 1763, it was called the French Indian War here in the Americas. But Winston Churchill called it the First World War because it was on 5 continents. It was a big deal. Here in America, it just guaranteed the rule of Britain to continue over the colonies. And one of the first things they did after this war was leave the troops, which irritated many of the Americans, and they had to take care of the troops, give them housing and even food. In 1765, they passed the Stamp Act. This was a huge tax on Americans, and Americans were like, wait a second, let's discuss this, let's compromise. But of course, nope, hammer down, we're not going to listen to anything that you say. Samuel Adams really picked up his fame at this point because he was a great speaker, excellent writer, and he was putting the word out. He's asking merchants to boycott British goods, for instance. Wrote articles in newspapers, pamphlets, letters, all kinds of stuff. And actually, it was a circular letter he wrote in 1768 that call for non-compliance. So don't just boycott British goods. Do not pay their taxes. Do not obey their laws. Pretty serious deal. This led to troops occupying Boston, which was a huge deal. Now, in 1773, they passed the Tea Act, which was another big tax. And of course, we had the Boston Tea Party. To punish Boston, the king and the British passed what was called the Coercive Acts. 4 laws just basically to punish Boston and to take away their self-governance. That was a dumb move. They should have sat down and listened, but nope, hammered down. This is what led to the First Continental Congress, which brought in all the colonies, including people like George Washington and others, the famous guys that we know of when we talk about the Revolution and our independence. So now it's on. In 1775, King George doubles down. He orders the British general, Thomas Gage, to arrest Samuel Adams in Boston, hang him from the highest tree. This led to militias being formed, guns and ammo being stored, and of course that led to the battles of Lexington and Concord, and the Revolutionary War is on. 1776, Declaration of Independence, Sam Adams signed it, and so today, raise one of his Oktoberfest beers. Let's toast him on his 300th birthday. But don't forget to apply this too. These people, our government, are declaring as domestic terrorists. We may need to listen to some of them.